yote Bwana, unibadili nikufuate wewe milele.
Yabadili matendo yangu nitendayo yawe ya kupendezayo wewe.
Bwana, unibadili niache yote Bwana, unibadili nikufuate wewe. Bwana, unibadili niache yote Bwana, unibadili nikufuate wewe milele.
Zibadili njia zangu nipitazo, nipite katika njia yako Mungu wangu.
Bwana, unibadili niache yote Bwana, unibadili nikufuate wewe. Bwana, unibadili niache yote Bwana, unibadili nikufuate wewe milele.
Karibuni watazamaji. Tuko hapa katika Luanga Studios tukiweza kuwaletea kama mlivyotayarishwa, mlivyokaribishwa kuwaletea majadiliano haya na mazungumzo wakati huu mgumu wa janga hili la corona. Sisi kama Education Commission ya Catholic Archdiocese of Mombasa tulionelea tuweze kupata wakati huu kujadiliana, kuzungumza kuangalia changamoto ambazo zipo katika wakati huu wa janga la korona. Na mada yetu leo ama topic yetu ya leo ni impact of COVID-19 on the education sector in Kenya. Kwa Kiswahili tutasema ni athari ama changamoto za janga hili la korona katika sekta ya elimu hapa Kenya. Na sisi kama jimbo kuu la Mombasa tukaona commission hii yetu tuweze leo kuwa moja kwa moja na nyinyi watazamaji ili kujadili jambo hili, that we begin a conversation, kwa sababu tusipozungumza kuna mambo mengi ambayo yataendelea kimya kimya ambayo yanatuathiri pole pole. Na katika mazungumzo haya tuna guests ama tuna wageni wetu. Upande wangu wa kulia kuna Madam Aurelia Manyeti. Madam Aurelia Manyeti, kwanza yeye ni mwalimu mkuu, ni head teacher pale St. Jose Maria Escriva Primary School, iko katika kisiwa cha Mombasa, na ni juzi tu mmemwona, mmemsikia katika media, vyombo vya habari, juu ya alivyojizatiti na kufanya bidii sana katika kuhakikisha kwamba virtual learning ama kusoma kwa mtandao kunavyoendelea katika shule yake, na ameenda karibu 98% ya candidates class ya wale watahiniwa wa mwaka huu wa darasa la 8 katika virtual learning ama wakisoma mtandaoni kama vile tu ambavyo wangesomea darasani. Na vile yeye ni mwenyekiti mdogo wa jopo letu ama kikundi chetu tunakiita KAPEIA, Catholic Private Education Institutions Association, katika jimbo letu la Mombasa. Upande wangu wa kushoto tuna Madam Janice Kiruriti. Madam Janice Kiruriti ni senior principal ambaye amefundisha na kufanya kazi hiyo kwa muda wa karibu miongo mitatu, zaidi ya miongo mitatu, akiwa shule maarufu kama vile Coast Girls among other schools, na alistaafu akiwa mwalimu mkuu ama principal pale Star of the Sea Girls Secondary School. Na ni juzi tu ambapo amestaafu, na Waswahili wanasema ukitaka kuwa na mchuzi mzuri unatafuta ile nazi ambayo imekomaa ili uweze kutengeneza supu nzuri. Kwa hivyo atakuwa na sisi kuweza kuchanganua masuala na changamoto hizi ambazo zinatukabili wakati huu. Na moderator wako nitakuwa mimi, Father Henry Ndune, Education Secretary katika jimbo letu kuu la Mombasa, makatibu wa elimu, ili tuweze kuchangamshana kuchanja masuala haya tunapokuwa na janga hili. Na ningependa nianze na upande wangu wa kushoto ambapo ni Madam Janice Kiruriti, ambaye ningekuomba Madam, kwa wakati huu ambapo tuko katika janga hili, ni changamoto gani ambazo unaona zimejitokeza katika sekta ya elimu ambazo zimeletwa na athari ambazo zimeletwa na janga hili?
Asante sana Father Ndune. Ni karibu yaelekea miezi mitatu tangu shule zifungwe, na kweli janga hili limeathiri sana stakeholders wote wa elimu. Ukiangalia upande wa watoto, the children are conditioned, they have been conditioned to a routine that they go to school, they wake up, they go to school, they stay in school up to evening, they come back home. For more than 2 months now, they are at home. They have literally nothing to do other than just waking up and eating and then playing inside their house only. They are finding themselves in very strange circumstances. And we know that children love school especially the children at the lower classes, they love that play with their peers. They are missing this one. If you look at the circumstances at home too, look at the parents. The parents, I could say that they're going through a very rough time, because parents, one thing, they're not going to work. Their pockets are depleted. They are again stressed because they have to be parents in the home. They have to be teachers also in the home of their children. And these children are children, for instance, a parent could be having PP kids. They could be having primary school kids. They have secondary school kids in the same house. And the parent is expected to play the role of a teacher too. So in addition to the stress of looking for food, looking for upkeep for these children, they are also expected to play this role of a teacher for all these levels of schooling. It is really a challenge for the parents. They also, the teachers. The teachers, maybe those teachers in public schools might not be having a challenge as such, because for them, they are earning. They are earning, they are able to put food on the table, they are able to pay their rent. But there are those teachers who are in the private institutions that might not be enjoying that salary. So how are these teachers surviving? Definitely there is a very, very big challenge on these teachers, challenges of survival. So we could say that all in all, this corona issue has brought a lot of suffering, not only to the parents, but even to the teachers themselves. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Kiruriti. And just as Madam Kiruriti has mentioned, Madam Aurelia, you are in the private sector, having taught for many years now at Jose Maria Escriva Primary School, Makupa. The experience Madam Kiruriti is mentioning, how do you see it? Because you are putting on those shoes now with the teachers at Jose Maria. How is it feeling down there on the ground?
Thank you, Father. First, I'd like to state that I believe in every crisis, it comes with deep challenges and opportunities for transformation. So with COVID-19, we've seen that the schools have been closed, and it is upon us as teachers to make sure that we have we engage the learners to make them get occupied, kwa sababu wengine wako mtaani wanacheza, wengine wameingia katika mihadarati, wengine wamepachikwa mimba. So to avoid that, mimi nilionelea ni vizuri hao watoto tuwatafutie njia ya kuwaweka katika hali ya kujua kwamba ni wanafunzi na kwamba wanafaa kujikumbusha yale ambao wanasoma shuleni. And so I started the virtual learning. I actually rolled out it in early April, and I can see it's not easy. It has its own challenges. It has its own challenges, and so to start, you have to do thorough preparation. First, I did a survey of my parents, those who had gadgets, and I also tried to inquire about the internet coverage in their homes. end. Then I had to meet my teachers through Zoom conferencing. They underwent training, and we had to come up with a timetable, which has 3 lessons per day, and we decided to have the lessons in the evening from 5 to 9 p.m. To start with, I did some video recording for my especially math lessons, because you see, teaching math online is not easy. So I used to record the clips and send to the WhatsApp group for the parents, and the learners were able to view. So we decided to blend both the video clips and the Zoom conferencing in teaching, especially our candidates. And I can say the turn-up is not so bad. It's 90%. And we are trying to engage them. And they're so happy. They enjoy the lessons. In such forums, or in the Zoom conference, we have it's just like a classroom setup where you have somewhere where you can give assignments. You can also do your presentations in form of slides. You can also upload some materials from Google Drive. You post for the learners to see, and they can even ask questions. So to me, we tried our best, and I'm calling upon my colleagues in other private schools or even public to come up with such ideas in their schools, so that we can keep the learners busy and remind them that they are still students.
No, but Aurelia, there is this notion, and I think, I don't know whether it's notions of Kenyans or for us in this coastal region. Many parents down there on the ground are posing this question that it's almost impossible to do this virtual learning. How have you managed? Because actually in Kenya, we are told by experts that we have gone about 30% reach to students and pupils, to learners. I don't know how much true is that. But this seems to be a possibility, because I was following on how you were being interviewed by several media houses, and this thing is working. The other day also, I was hearing Mr. Mudhiora, the principal Strathmore, who has gone 98% of his school, not even academic class, or the whole school, 98% is in school, actually virtually on every area. Now, it seems this, what word would you have to parents, these parents who are pessimistic that because COVID is here with us, and we are told that we live with COVID just as we've been living with HIV and AIDS, and suppose this thing goes for a while, for 1 year or so, it means we have to learn to live with this experience. So what word would you have to parents and teachers and these stakeholders who are very, very pessimistic on the idea that virtual learning is a reality? Manake wengine wanasema hakuna stima, hakuna radio, hakuna television, hakuna computer, but this seems it is possible. So what word would you have to those parents ambao wamekata tamaa, wanasema tukae tu?
Safi kabisa. Asante Father. Kwa wale wazazi ambao wanaona haiwezekani, my advice is please develop a positive attitude toward technology. Kwa sababu where we are heading, it's like everything will be done in a digital form. So wazazi, najua wengi wenu hamjaona mambo kama haya, lakini ni wakati wa kukubali kwamba COVID-19 is with us, na hatuwezi kukaa hivi tu tukingojea serikali iseme kwamba watoto warudi shuleni. Lazima tukue na proactive mindset. We accept it and we look for way forward. How can we assist these learners? So wazazi, naomba mkubaliane na walimu wakuu wa shule zenu kama wameanzisha hiyo virtual learning, msikatae, kwa sababu itakuwa kwa manufaa kwa watoto wenu.
Father, I would like to agree with Madam, but I would also like us to look at the ground.
The ground?
The situation on the ground. I think technology is the way to go, yes, obviously.
Yes. But
how is it down there? What is the situation with our parents as far as technology is concerned? What percentage of our parents, for instance, are able to access the net?
The net?
What percentage have TVs in their homes? What percentage has even a radio?
In the homes.
And even if we have all these things, I would like to look at a situation where we have the computer, yes, and we have we have installed whatever technology that is required for our students to learn. Where is the supervision? We are expecting that parent to supervise. That parent maybe is working from home, like we have been asked to do. This parent is working, and this parent has a child in PP2, for instance, who has some lesson that is zoomed in, and the one in primary school has also their lesson, the one in high school has their lesson, and as a parent I'm also working. So where do I get time to work and then to supervise these levels of the kids that I have? So much as we are thinking about technology and the use of technology in learning at home, we also have to think of that supervision, because a kid will not learn without supervision. That is why schools are there. So we are turning the parent at home into a teacher, in addition to being a parent. But we also need to think now about that scenario where a parent needs to supervise, grade this, grade the other, grade the other. Yeah. Where does all that time
and
come
all these
from?
Learners are at home.
Yes. And that particular view of schools going digital, I think it is what we need to adopt as a country, because all the other countries of the world, this is the way they have gone.
But this is the CBC spirit, actually.
Exactly. But we also need to think about the bigger percentage of our population is made up of those parents who operate from hand to mouth. Yes? Those people who live in the slum areas, where there is no electricity, for instance, where they cannot afford, even if they have a phone, buying those bundles, they cannot afford. Now, what do we do to these parents? And maybe Madam Aurelia, in what she has been doing, maybe she has found solutions to these parents.
To these parents, yeah.
who cannot even think about the bundles. Let them think about the food first. Yes.
So I think watazamaji tunaingia katika eneo ambalo ni tata sana, kwa sababu kuna hawa wazazi na wanafunzi na stakeholders ambao wako upande wa private sector, ambao kulingana na tabia, ningesema tabia ya Wakenya, wale ambao wanaenda katika private sector mara nyingi tunaona kama ni watu ambao kidogo wanajiweza kulingana na mazingira ya pale ambapo wametokea. Na tuna hii eneo la pili ambalo Madam Kiruriti analielezea, na sana sana tungesema hawa ni wale ambao wako upande wa shule za umma,
Yes.
Public, ambapo tunapata mtoto ambaye yuke kule Mwakirunge na mwanafunzi wake kule Mwakirunge ambako labda stima ndio inaanza kuingia. Anapokuja kwa mambo haya virtual learning atakuwa na changamoto nyingi zaidi kuliko yule wa private. Lakini jambo ambalo linajitokeza wazi ni kwamba hii ndiyo nia ya serikali, ambayo tunaona hata viparakatalishi vililetwa vingi, zile gadgets, na zingine ziko katika store hazitumiki, na nafikiri hili ndio jambo pia Madam Aurelia na Madam Kiruriti wanaleta, kwamba tunaweza kuamka kama Wakenya. Can we wake up? This is a wake up call, kwamba it is not business as usual. Ni kwamba ulimwengu unaenda, na mkiangalia katika yale mazungumzo ya ile agenda ya elimu sasa ulimwenguni kote ya CBC, na CBC actually iko sasa kote, inasisitizwa kote, na hata na Umoja wa Mataifa. Tunapaswa sasa kuamka na kuangalia jambo hili kama it's not again kama ni la kupenda ama kutopenda, kutaka ama kutotaka. Kwa hivyo asante sana kwa changamoto hiyo Madam Kiruriti, na ungependa kuongezea kitu?
Ningependa
Madam Aurelia
kuongezea. Madam Kiruriti amesema ni changamoto kwa wazazi kuangalia watoto katika supervision ya ile kazi wamepewa na kufanya kazi. You have to balance. But in our case, in our school, we decided to have the classes in the evening when the parents are back from work. That's way, yeah. Wakati huo unakuwa wakati mzuri ambapo unaweza kuangalia mtoto wako pia anafanya nini katika hiyo gadget, kazi yake vile inafanyika, na kama amesubmit for marking. So kwa wazazi lazima watusaidie kama walimu. We have to work in a triangle. Si jukumu la walimu, ni letu, wazazi, wanafunzi na walimu.
Kwa hivyo hii inatuleta pia, nafikiri wengi wetu na pia watazamaji wengi mmepitia katika development ya elimu katika ulimwengu, kwamba kumbe hata zamani mzazi alikuwa mwalimu wa kwanza. Nilikuwa naangalia mambo kama yale ya elimu nyakati za mwanzo kule China na hata kule Israeli. Tunaona hata katika Biblia kwamba kumbe kina Paulo walikuwa wanapelekwa kwa mwalimu mmoja bila kuwa mazingira ya darasani, na akaweza kufundishwa. Kwa hivyo nafikiri kazi hii then tunakubaliana kwamba wazazi tunatakana kuirudia, that we may be collaborators now, tuingie ndani katika kuelimisha, si kama zamani. Na wengine mnajaribu, yule ambaye anakaa na mtoto wa PP1 na PP2 na baby na kumuonesha kushika kalamu jioni. Kwa nini tunaweza kumsaidia wakati huo, na sasa akiwa grade 8 siwezi kumfungulia simu na kumuonesha Zoom kwamba huyu ni Madam Aurelia anazungumza. Kwa hivyo tuna changamoto ya infrastructure ama miundo msingi, kama vile stima, kama vile vipakataralishi, kama vile simu na television, lakini tuna sehemu ndogo ambayo tunaweza kuchangia sisi kama wazazi. Na Madam Kiruriti, turudi hapa kwa public. Tunapozungumza juu ya wazazi na walimu, tujaribu kwenda njia hii ambayo Madam Aurelia na watu wa Strathmore na watu wengine wengi, Loreto najua wanaendelea na hali hiyo, kule wa Lady of Mercy wanaendelea sasa, wanaanza. Upande wa public, najaribu kutazama idadi ya watoto katika darasa moja na space, nafasi, na vile vile idadi na walimu. Kunaweza kuwa na changamoto gani upande huo wa public?
In the public sector, in the public schools, the classes are lunch. It is true. When it is one-on-one with the teachers at the school setting, there is no problem. And even if we introduced virtual learning, numbers don't matter because you are alone.
You are alone
in your home and your gadget. So I wouldn't think the numbers really matter there as far as virtual learning is concerned.
Yes.
Even as far as the actual interaction of the teacher and the student when schools are open is concerned. Maybe it would only be an issue where we are talking about reopening of schools.
Yes.
After this pandemic.
Yes.
Or during this pandemic. That would definitely be a serious issue to consider in as far as the considerations that will be put in place by the government are concerned. It is a serious issue to look into when that time comes.
When that time comes, yes. Asante sana, Madam Kiruriti. I think that will also be the next discussion. But before we get to that discussion, Madam Aurelia, I know that Makupa Jose Maria Escriva is quite a sizable school, and you have teachers there, you have support staff workers, support staff. How would that be a challenge in running schools during this time of COVID-19? Because definitely human resource, especially on your side, as Madam Kurite has put it, how would that augur well with what you are doing?
Okay. Maybe to start, I would like to start by saying that it's not easy to make payment to those teachers during this period, because we entirely depend on the fees that is paid by the parents to pay their salaries. And I realized that the teachers are suffering. When you look at the public teachers, wamekaa nyumbani, they're enjoying their holiday, wakati na wanapata mishahara yao in full. Now look at this private school teacher. Ako nyumbani, hakuna mtu anamlipa. How are we going to survive? So I gave it a second thought. Nikaambia walimu, now look, since we are employed, we are in a private sector, we have to work. We have to work, and to start working is adopting to the virtual learning. And so they accepted, and even I informed the parents, and we agreed that they are going to pay some amount of fees, which is going to maybe meet the needs of the teachers.
That is
and
commendable.
Also help them in maybe buying the bundles to run the lessons.
But maybe further.
Yes, Madam Janice.
Maybe it would be good if you let the others know, those out there that have not started the virtual learning, you give them hints on how you convinced your parents to be able to buy the virtual learning.
The virtual learning, yes.
Buy means pay, so that you can do it, isn't it? Because if you go by what the CS said, he said, don't worry, learning will begin from where you stopped on March 15th. So now parents have sat pretty.
They have a tendency
they have said, after all, learning will start where they stopped. So this one of virtual learning, it can go, and that is why many parents are not bothered. Even KICD is streaming lessons on TV and to channel, but many parents are not bothered because it was said that after all we will start from where we left. So how are you convincing your parents so that the other schools that have not adopted the same can at least buy it? Because it is true what you say, that the student requires to be told you are a student every day. And how do you tell them you are a student? By exposing them to learning every day.
Thank you. Okay, one thing you should know is that a school depends on the head teacher. In my school, I think I thank God that they always listen to me. If I say, this is what we are going to do, they are ready to support me. We are going to start virtual learning, they are ready. And because they are ready, because they are seeing what we are doing in the school. The performance is good. So, if I advise them to adopt that virtual learning, they don't reject. Yes. Actually, to me, nilipokuwa nataka kuanza hiyo mambo ya virtual learning, ilinikuja akilini nikasema, how are they going to respond? So nikasema, with God everything is possible. And I decided to take the risk. I had a meeting with my teachers. We discussed on the same. Then they started reaching out to the parents. Yeah, they had even to call one by one, informing them of the virtual learning, the advantages, and many things. And I thank God that like 3/4 are supporting us. Though we have, those are facing challenges like mambo ya pesa, mambo ya finance, kidogo wako chini. But when they call me, we always agree on the way, modalities of payment of the fees. So I believe we can do, nothing is impossible.
It's impossible. So thank you, Madam Aurelia. I think watazamaji tuna kitu hapa cha muhimu sana ambacho kinajitokeza. Hatuwezi kuwa na pande mbili za nchi moja katika mambo ya elimu. We have to get you have to do a deliberate choice. Ya kwamba it is either tunasoma tukiendelea kuangalia kurudi kusoma katika darasa, the formal learning, ama hatusomi. Kwa sababu hata ikija wakati, najaribu kufikiria, hata ikija wakati wa kuweka mitihani, jambo hili litajitokeza tena. Hata iwe baada ya mwaka mmoja, tutasema, je, tunarudi pale tulipoachia, ama tunajaribu kujaza pale ambapo hakujafika ndio tuweze kwenda katika mitihani. Kwa hivyo kuna maoni mawili hapa, yale ambayo CS alisema na yale ambayo tunaendelea nayo katika virtual learning. We have to come to a consensus na kusema hata kama term zitabadilishwa, mianzo ya mihula itabadilika, lakini tuwe tuna sauti moja kwamba tunasoma kupitia kwa vyombo hivi tukiweza kukabiliana na janga hili. Vile vile CS wa afya alivyosema, nyakati ngumu zinahitaji mikakati migumu pia, extraordinary ways of combating these issues. Kwa hivyo na mtazamaji, tunashukuru kwamba unaendelea kuwa nasi, na tutarudi tena sasa kwa Madam Kiruriti upande huu wa reopening the schools. Tunajua kwamba there has been a deliberate plan by His Excellency the President and also the Minister of Education and all the stakeholders. We have come together, including the churches, and now we saw yesterday NAT and WASU. All stakeholders are coming together to say what is the way forward on the reopening of schools. And this is a global concern. Tunaona America, ndugu yetu Fauci, you see him every evening katika CNN News, tukisema as we reopen the schools, how should this thing be taken? Kwa sababu ni issue ambayo, it is an issue which we should discuss. We should open this conversation. Wazazi wanasema mkifungua shule watoto wetu wataambukizwa, watakufa. Serikali inasema, lakini pia tulisikia rais juzi, hatuwezi kuendelea hivi milele. Na pia watu wengi wanasema hivi kwamba hatuwezi kuendelea milele. Kwa hivyo tunajua kuna jopo na kamati task force ambayo imeteuliwa, ambayo inaendelea na kazi hizi na inaendelea kufanya briefing kwa rais, na tutapata mwelekeo kamili hivi karibuni juu ya reopening the schools. Lakini tukichanganua haya maswala, Madam Kiruriti, what way forward on the reopening of the schools?
Mambo haya yamezungumzwa sana, sio hapa Kenya peke yake, ulimwengu mzima, about reopening schools, reopening the economy, and reopening the society, so to speak. I would like to go with the school of thought that is saying that it is true we need to go back to normal, where normal means doing things, although with some differences, but doing things that we are used to doing, going to school, going to work, doing the things that we were used to doing. But I am of the same school of thought with those ones that are saying, let us not experiment with children. In many countries of the world, governments are delaying opening schools. And even those that are opening like trial, and some of them are being hit by the disease coming up in the schools and closing again. So I would like to go with those that are saying that we should not experiment with the children. Let us open the churches, let us open the economy so that we can start going to work. Let us open the bars, the hotels, and whatever, and let us see how the disease behaves. Yes. So that if we don't see an upsurge, then we will know we are safe.
We are safe.
Yeah? And now we can let our children out. Because we are saying that our children are the Kenya of tomorrow.
Of tomorrow, yes.
So if we destroy this Kenya that we are saying is of tomorrow, we will not have a Kenya. So let us wait to have this disease contained. Then now we can say schools can open, our children can go. Otherwise, we are letting our children go to schools where the circumstances within those schools are not ready for the pandemic that there is in the world today. Yeah, we don't have infrastructure that will protect the children. And I think you have alluded to the fact that there is a task force.
Yes.
And this task force, I am sure, will come up with ways and means of containing children in the schools with the pandemic going on. But until we are sure that we have policies and we have things that are tangible that we can do so that our children are safe, then I am of that school of thought that we wait. We wait until the coast is clear. Now we can open the schools, our children can go to school.
Wow. So mtazamaji, nafikiri sasa unajaribu kuingia katika hili dau gumu, kwa sababu ni dau ambalo linaelea katika mawimbi. Tufungue, tusifungue. Watoto lazima wasome, hatuwezi endelea hivi milele. Tukiwaachilia leo, kwa mfano vile tunaona kama sisi tunaoishi hapa town katika kisiwa, saa kama hizi tunaelekea saa 10, tayari magari yamejaa, magari yanaelekea kila upande wa Mombasa, matatu, shule, idadi ya watoto katika vilasi, break time, lunch time. Kuna kugusana, kuna kutembea, kuna walimu wanatoka katika nyumba. Hali za gonjwa hili zitakuwaje? Lakini kama tulivyomsikia Madam Kiruriti akitupa advice, ni kwamba jopo hili ama task force hii ambayo imewekwa na rais wetu mpendwa Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta litakuja, na tunashukuru kwa sababu japokuwa kuna washikadau wengine walisema wameachwa nje, kuna sehemu kubwa sana ya washikadau ambao walikuwa ndani, our stakeholders. Kwa hivyo tunapoendelea kuangalia hii curve ambayo inasemekana sasa iko juu sana. Jana nilikuwa naangalia nambari, curve hii inatishia. Lakini tukumbuke pia kwamba tunavyoendelea kutohatarisha watoto na sisi wenyewe, na tuangalie njia na mbinu tofauti tofauti ambazo zitaweka watoto wetu salama tunapoenda sasa. Kwa mfano tukikubaliana tuanze, tutaenda watoto wetu wakiwa salama hali gani. Asante sana wageni wetu, na tunapoendelea na mazungumzo haya, tuna mtazamaji mmoja ambaye anatufuatilia katika YouTube ambaye anatuuliza, nitasoma kama alivyouliza, what is the average school fees for e-learning? Hili ni swala ambalo Madam Aurelia anaweza kutuonjesha upande wake wa shule yake. Tunajua shule nyingi zina kima tofauti tofauti, like when I was following the discussion with the principal Strathmore, for him, apart from if I got him right, apart from the issues of lunch programs, bigger part of it being a day school, anaweza kuitisha school fees ambazo zinaweza kukidhi mahitaji ya walimu working from home and the bundles. Na Madam Aurelia labda atatuonjesha practice yake, experience yake pale Jose Maria Escriva.
Okay, thank you. To respond to that question, what I can say is it all depends on the agreement between the administration and the parents. So, like in our school, we agreed that the parents are going to pay school fees, but we are not going to charge other expenses like food and transport and others. So when you look at it, it's like they are paying, let's say 50% of the school fees.
Of the total school fees.
Yeah.
So nafikiri mtazamaji umeweza kupata ufahamu kwamba each case can be handled on its own merit depending on ile shule na kiwango cha wazazi na ni huduma gani ambazo zinatolewa kwa upana zaidi. And I think the baseline would be, can we give a living wage to this teacher wakati huu mgumu? A living wage in the sense that kama yeye anapofanya 50% kuondoa chakula na yale mambo mengine, inamaanisha labda wapishi watakuwa hawapiki, wataona vile watawapa sustainable living wage. Tuna advise kwamba tuweze kukaa na kuangalia ni njia gani na ni kiwango gani kinaweza kufanya kazi bora zaidi. Vile vile kuna mtazamaji mmoja ambaye anatufuatilia katika YouTube ambaye ameuliza hili swali nyeti ambalo limeulizwa mara kwa mara. What about this populace, these learners in the very, very rural areas? Na swala hili lilikuwa tunalizungumza na Education Secretary moja kule Garissa. Nitamtaja kwa sababu yeye pia anashiriki mtandao huu wakati huu, Father Alan, ambaye anasema juzi, anatuuliza, sasa hivi ninavyozungumza na wewe padri, niko katika kuhamisha baadhi ya wananchi wetu kwa sababu wanataka kusombwa na maji. Sehemu hii haina stima, sehemu hii haina magari, sehemu hii haina radio, sehemu hii haina simu because hakuna hali ya kuzungumza. Na nafikiri hili ndio swali ambalo unauliza, na kwa sababu waelimishaji wetu wako hapa, pengine ningeanza na Madam Kiruriti. Tungemwambiaje huyu follower wetu wa YouTube? What about those areas, rural areas? Tunaweza kutumia mbinu gani na wao kuwaeka katika dau hili la virtual learning?
Exactly. We have to recognize the fact that we are advantaged, those that are in town, compared to those that are in the rural areas. And that is why when we are looking at the whole issue of virtual learning, we have to be considerate of the fact that those that do not have what it takes, the gadgets, electricity, and so forth, the infrastructure, so to speak, cannot be beneficiaries of virtual learning. Those that do not even have a radio, those that do not even have, they don't even know what a mobile phone is, they cannot be beneficiaries of virtual learning. And that is why my personal view is that the virtual learning we are doing now is for purposes of keeping the children busy. Those that can access. Yes, it's just for purposes of keeping them busy. But the parents, we are not also saying that those parents that find themselves without technology cannot look for ways of ensuring that their children remember that they are students. Exactly. Because these children go to school, even if they are moving because of floods, they have their books. Yeah, they have their books. So the parents can remind them once in a while, look at your books. Yeah, because they have them.
Beautiful, beautiful. So watazamaji na guests wetu, tunaashiriwa na mwelekezi wetu kwamba wakati unaelekea kuyoyoma, and we would like to point out that this discussion should continue. Like the issue of reopening schools, we know that the government has a lot to do in preparation. There are issues of space, there are issues of social distancing, there are issues of the PPEs, there are issues of the masks, there are issues of sanitizers, there are issues of washing hands, where in some areas schools have no water. There are many, 1,000 issues which we cannot exhaust today. Maybe as our parting shot, Madam Aurelia and Madam Kiruriti, there are issues now that you've mentioned. Watoto wanaumia. I heard that the other day a kid got strangled in Kisumu. This grade 1 kid is playing with a rope, and there is another sibling, and then they are playing, then this kid strangles himself or herself, and the other kid is thinking that this kid is sleeping and is waiting for his turn, but he's saying this sleep is taking too long. So these issues and other issues of early pregnancies, issues of abuse of children, we know that adults have their own issues, domestic issues, domestic violence. But again, parents, we urge you, please be near your children. We know that you cannot have a system, a structure of a school, at the level of a school. But parting shot, Madam Kiriti, then Madam Aurelia, our time is up.
What we are facing now, Father, is a situation where the government, so to speak, must think very fast and must come up with a plan that will be able to meet the expectations of everybody, and especially the expectation of securing the lives of the children in as far as reopening schools is concerned. But it is a very difficult one because like we are saying with the economy, also reopening the economy, it is what is saying between a rock and a hard place.
And a hard place.
Damn it if you open, damn it if you don't. Because both of them have negative repercussions. But all in all, I think our government is in a position to ensure that the schools, the economy, everything reopens. Just like the way the government has managed the pandemic since it happened on 13th March, I am sure that the government as it is can be able to come up with ways and means of securing everybody in their place of work, in the schools, everywhere. And that is why I am of the opinion that, but as long as it takes, let us stay home. Let the children stay home. Even if it means schools opening next year. I have no problem with
Life
that. But
first.
as long as life is secured, But I'm sure we are going to get over this very soon, and things will normalize.
Beautiful. Thank you, Madam Kuriti.
Yeah.
Madam Aurelia, 30 seconds, then we wind up. I know we have about 30 seconds to go.
Thank you. Maybe to wrap up, I concur with Madam Kiruriti, and my request is to the government. Maybe there is this initiative in Jamii that is targeting the people who have been terminated in the working places or those who are not employed. My request is for the government to also consider the private school teachers, since now they are jobless, some, they should also be earning something little at the end of the month. Because when you look at them, some of them don't have side hustles. And I also have a message to the teachers. Please, let us take this problem positively, and let us be innovative, knowing that the world is changing into technology. And very soon, even jobs will be applied online, interviews will be conducted online. So it is upon us to accept that COVID-19 is with us, and we have to change.
We have to change.
We have to change. We cannot remain as hard copy teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Aurelia. Santeni sana. Thank you, viewers. Thank you all those who have asked questions, who have followed this program. We'll be coming again. We would like to thank our director, Father Bosco, also Father Kanga. We would like also to thank our catechist who has been with us, Father Onesimus, and also Father Maxwell Okello, who is the parish priest of this beautiful place, St. Francis of Assisi, and for giving us this opportunity. And on behalf of our Education Commission, Catholic Archdiocese of Mombasa, on behalf of Archbishop Martin Kivuva, we say thank you. We'll come again. Santeni sana. Okay. Huko umetuzima tayari? Oh, okay. So that tusisikike kwa studio.